Hello there. Hi, Renee. How you doing? And it is so bizarre. I mean, we are living in such bizarre times. I can't even believe. Whoop, sorry about that. I started that at the wrong time. I got to share screen before I do that. I'll run the I'll run the intro to give people time to find me. If they can find me, if the algorithms are letting them find me. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe some of my Aussie friends. I know this is late, but you guys, I couldn't sleep. And whether you're going to be hearing it now or later, if y'all don't show up tonight, it's okay. I'll talk about this probably more when I come on later Sunday. And we'll go more into it. But for right now, I'm going to give you half a chance. I know it's like 3:30 in the morning. So, it's 3:30 in the freaking morning. What am I doing coming on at 3:30 in the morning? Because I can't sleep because something came up. And it's about Cameltoe and Sniffy. You know who I'm talking about. And I had a very strange son. I've been having strange dreams, man. As you know, it's Mercury Retrograde. So, and that is when I have a lot of interesting dreams. Mercury Retrograde. I'm telling you, some weird shit. I will definitely, though, holy carp. They're crazy stuff. But I will probably be back on later in the day when people are awake. You probably just got to, decided to turn everything off and go to sleep, or whatever. This is a Saturday night, I realize. Some of you might have been out having fun. Who knows? Or just sleeping. That's something I do. That's a hobby of mine, sleeping. I have done that before, a lot of times. It's nice. I had to get this out of my head before it goes away. Really. I just had to. So whether anybody's awake or not, it doesn't even really matter. After all, you can always replay it. I just got to get it out of my head, though. And down and recorded somewhere before I forget it. Okay, here's the intro.
ocean making waves and navigating a lot of Mercury retrograde stuff.
And indeed, here I am again, navigating a lot of Mercury retrograde stuff. But as we know, Mercury retrograde is not necessarily a bad thing. In fact, it can be great if you use it the right way. Like I said, I get very intense dreams. It's a great time to redo things that needed to be done, you didn't do, or even return things that you bought at the last Mercury retrograde because you shouldn't have done that, because Mercury retrogrades are a bad time to make decisions and buy stuff. But occasionally, that it's not totally across the board. After all, there are some things you buy during Mercury retrograde because you've been needing to buy them. You need to replace or whatever. Replacing is a re word, so anything with re, you can count on Mercury retrograde to be a good time for that. So don't worry about that. Just reminding you, there are some very positive things to this. I am not one of those people who's all negative about these things or any of these things. I mean, there are people who even say some of the planets are negative. None of the planets are really negative exactly, but from our point of view, they can look, it can look like it. Mercury retrograde was misunderstood for a long, long time by people, and I was one of the advocates for trying to understand what was really going on with Mercury retrograde. I don't think it was meant to hurt us. I think it was meant to be just a different time to cool our jets and take our minds off the strictly physical stuff, because we get way too wrapped up in that crap. I mean, we get so wrapped up in the physical aspects. I can't get my hat just quite right to where I am satisfied. Anyway, we get too wrapped up in the physical aspects of things sometimes, and we have to be prodded to look at things differently. So I try not to get stuck strictly in the physical. Although some of us are so much in the spirit realm and in our heads, that's a whole different story. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you this. This is a very, very old pendulum I made years ago. And it's kind of unusual. You see, I made it with beads. And this is a little turtle bead I made. I actually, there's a turtle on there and a butterfly and some other stuff, some other beads and some turquoise and some stuff. Okay. And I put it on a earring hook so that I could just hook it on things. Okay. And this is, I used to make these cute little turtle beads. But anyway, this is the pendulum I found after years of being packed away. And I brought it out and was here with a friend, just, BSing. It wanted to talk. It wanted to talk. I held it up and it just kept swinging like crazy, like it is now. And even more so, in fact, it wanted to talk. So there's something somebody's trying to tell me about. And first I'll tell you the dream. The dream is, and there's more, but I'll just tell you the end of this last dream. There were two people I was with two people in a vehicle of some sort, and he and her, and I swear it looked like it was the Geos. And it looked like I was in the girls' spot, in the girls' place, which would be Cherie. It looked like the Geos, oddly enough. And he kept trying to put a ring that was like, it kept changing from a butterfly to a bat to a butterfly. It was a silver ring. And then they were in a car or a vehicle, or we were trying to go up a hill. Somebody else was driving, though. And then, as I'm trying to take this ring off, because for some reason she didn't want that on, he kept putting it on her, and she kept taking it off. And he'd sneak it onto her hand, and she'd take it off. It was like some kind of weird game, but it meant something. I don't know what it meant, but this ring meant something. And then I hear a voice that says, "Your wake-up times have all been individually programmed." In that voice. You know, that snooty British voice? Snooty British AI voice? Okay. Your wake-up times have been individually planned. You will wake up in 60 seconds. Okay, well, in the dream, this was weird enough that it started to get me thinking, oh, am I dreaming? Yeah, I must be dreaming. Okay, I'm dreaming. But then I start to wake up, right? Because I'm kind of like, what? And I do. Within 60 seconds, I'm awake. And I sit up and, go to the bathroom, because what do you do in the middle of the night when you wake up? You always have to go to the bathroom, it seems like, right? So just in case, But so I come and I sit back down on the bed, and I'm no sooner got my butt down on the bed, but my phone rings. And it's the middle of the night. It's like 2:30 something at night, right? And it's the Kent PD. And I'm like, what? Am I still dreaming? Why would they be calling me in the middle of the night? And then the things that go through your head are like, oh my God, did somebody die? Did something happen? Do I need to know? What do I need to know? What's going on here? Is somebody playing a joke? What's going on? And so I answer it, hello, and oh, this is Officer so-and-so, and we're just calling to see if you're okay, because one of your neighbors noticed your window was open, and she hasn't seen you in a couple of days, and we just want to be sure you're okay. She just wants to be sure that you're that everything's fine with you. And this is 2:30 in the morning. I found out who it was and called her at 4. She was awake too, though. So I found out who it was because she had left me a message, but I'm there like, that was weird. I mean, I hear a voice saying, you're going to wake up in 60 seconds. And I do. And I wake up. Fortunately, I'm awake when the phone rings. So I am sensible when I'm talking on the phone, right? I'm awake enough to not be like, so, because when I first wake up, usually the first few seconds are like, damn, I'm back here. I? Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? What am I? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. So, anyway, that's how that went, but it was really weird. And it really gave me pause. Really gave me pause. So, that's one thing. And now we'll go on to the breaking wind news. News. I like breaking wind. Yeah, that's the destructive duo. Yes, we're going to talk about the destructive duo. Sniffy and Cameltoe is what we're going to call them. You guys know why. Remember, this is just in-game advice for living inside this matrix that we're in. It has nothing to do with real life, which is outside the matrix. Right? Okay. Okay. So, has to do with this pendulum. So, we're just kind of, oh, cool pendulum. Real cool. I haven't used this in a while. It's swinging around like nuts, and it's like somebody wants to talk to me. So we're just like people do, chitty-chatting about current events, which are insane, even insaner than usual. I mean, as insane as it's ever been so far. And we'll call him Joe. This guy that happens to be running a country named Joe happens to be a boss, a big boss, running a country. And I say, I don't think Joe is really Joe. And it starts swinging, yes, as it is right now. And I said, what? Maybe I'm onto something here. Is Joe the same one, the actual Joe, the one that was, in office before, under somebody else? I'm being careful here. Okay. But is he the real one? Okay, is he the real Joe? Oh, no. No. What does that mean, though? He's not the real Joe? No. Is he somebody else? Wrong question. Twirling in a circle. Is he an actor? No. It's saying no, I can't hold my hand up that long. No, he's not an actor. Is he some kind of double that they found? We were speculating, and no. And then I said, huh, be funny if everybody was, if some of this conspiracy theory was right and he was a clone. Huh? That's really not funny, though. That's a yes. Okay, would it just be funnier? Is he actually a clone? Yes. Wait a minute, he's a clone? I don't even know if I believe in that. I mean, there's plenty of ways to get a double of somebody. You can go to places in California and find impersonators, but that's not what it's saying. And you guys, if you're familiar with my pendulum work, my pendulum has said outrageous things that also turn out to be true. So now I'm really creeped out. And it's still saying yes. Oh, yes, he's a clone. Yes, he is. He's a clone. That's not the fellow, not the same fellow he was born. He's a clone. Would explain a lot. So, was he the guy? Is he the same guy as was in office with Obama? That's the wrong question somehow. In between when he was in office with Obama and when they put him up for election against T-Man, something happened. Yeah, something happened. So then we got to thinking, so if that's somebody else, is he dead? Is the real one dead? No, he's not dead. Okay, well, that's a relief. I'd hate to think that. Even in spite of everything, I'd hate to think that. Okay, so then the next question was, well, then I wonder where he is. Is he safe? Yes. Yeah, he's safe. He's somewhere safe. And then the thought came into my mind, did they cut him a deal, send him somewhere nice and say, don't speak of it ever. We're going to use your name and your rep, and you just take this money and go off to this nice resort and live a great life and forget about all this. Retire. Yep. And it's saying, yep. Yep. And now I'm going to ask with you here something that occurred to me because we were wondering where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where in the world is the real guy? Or is he in one of the underground cities that they talk about? This is the first time I've asked this. Wrong question. Is he in another country? Yes. Okay. That's good enough for me. I don't care where he is. Not right now. If you guys catch me tomorrow, maybe you got some ideas and you want to ask. I'm not going to hang around and ask. I'm just not interested. Enough. All I'm interested in is, okay, so some things we did not ask, and you will be the first Nasty little things. Is Cameltoe a woman? The one that I'm calling Cameltoe. People are calling Cameltoe. No, not really. Oh my God. So Cameltoe is not really a woman. Do it anymore. Ah! Does that have to be real too? Yeah, I guess so. There is a theory like that. That really none of the women that we've been presented with, they might not really be women. There's so many questions that could be asked after that. I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. I just had to get this off my mind. Maybe we'll figure out more with you guys here with me. But these things were just in my head. I couldn't get rid of it. You know, it was like, and I have learned, as soon as I turned everything on, I got a stomachache here, by the way. I had to drink some ginger and stuff in order to feel better. It was the weirdest thing. It was like as soon as I turned on the Wi-Fi, and I kind of noticed. I turned on the computer too, though, and it was like, oh, my stomach kind of hurts now. I had some ginger tea. And if you don't make ginger tea out of fresh ginger, it'd be a good idea for you if you did. And fresh ginger is wonderful. Entirely different. It's not going to be like the ginger tea you get with in the store in the little tea bags. There is some versions that have a decent ginger tea, but most of the time you don't get a real decent ginger tea just off a shelf in Acme or something, you know. So but you can, there are some good brands. Anyway, it's better just to make it from the root. It's really easy. You peel ginger with a spoon. Yep. It's just easier because it's so paper thin. You can peel it with a spoon, and the spoon gets in the little nooks and crannies. I didn't know how to do that either. And then I finally said there's got to be some way, like garlic. I mean, you know, garlic's got a way. There are some ways to really easily peel garlic so you don't waste half of it. The same way with ginger. You take a spoon to ginger, and you will just get the papery stuff off and leave the meat. Yep. So, and you just slice that up and steep it. And it's good for they say it's good for weight loss and appetite control too. And I notice I'm not as hungry when I drink that. I don't get hungry as easy, as fast. I don't eat quite as much. Don't feel like eating quite as much usually. So there may be some truth to that, but it does a bunch of other stuff too for you. So I'm really recommending fresh ginger tea when you can do it. And then after you use up you just slice it up and steep it. Slice it thin as you can and steep it in water, pure water. And then after it gets so weak that it doesn't burn anymore, which is when I lose interest, you know, you can put water in there several times in a pot and cook it. For a little thing of ginger like this will give you a nice medium-sized pot of very ginger charged hot water, tea. And you can do it twice usually before it poops out and starts getting so weak that it doesn't even burn anymore. And when it doesn't burn anymore, I kind of lose interest. So then what do? I use the rest of the ginger that's in there, pour off the tea, and use the ginger in some kind of food in which it's kind of crunchy and has a gingery flavor, mildly gingery flavor, and is good in really quite a lot of dishes. So just a helpful little kitchen witch tip there. There's more. Of course, there's more that I want to ask. And but this just really, these two things were really on my mind. The other thing is we need to really send some energy to the people who are left in Afghanistan, because they're not letting them come back. Not only did they abandon them, but they're banning flights to bring them back. And I saw a video of them, of a couple, during an air raid. They've got a safe place that they go to when the air raid sirens go off, and then I thought to myself, what would it be like to live like that? A siren goes off and you run downstairs so you don't take a chance on getting killed. It sucks. We need our people home. They just abandoned them. Meanwhile, they've also got videos of kids playing with using a Humvee for a jungle gym and using the turret for a carousel. Oh. There's no way that could be dangerous or harmful. It is so bizarre. We're living in such a bizarre world. Like, why on earth? Okay, so you screwed up and you left people there. Why are you making it hard for them to come back? Why are you making it hard for them to come home? Why aren't you letting them come home? It's insane. It's not sane. And it's very blatant. And if people don't notice it and do something about it, I mean, this is happening right out in the open, these things. I mean, we're not letting them come back home, but we are letting all these people cross that Texas border. Not only that, but we're giving them all kinds of government assistance. Yes. Not testing them for COVID anymore. We don't do that now because we're all inclusive. So, I said the magic C word. We're inclusive. We don't want anybody even though they're coming from everywhere and could have COVID. All of those measures, you thought that all of those measures that we took were to protect you. You thought we cared. Yeah, we don't care. We're letting people without masks and without testing, just run all over, even giving them bus tickets to go all over the United States. It's great. Yeah. And of course, the cartels are doing their child back to the child trafficking, and the trafficking, women trafficking is just back to normal now. And that adrenochrome was flowing. So, it's all happy now. Everybody's happy. Yeah, it's a great, great thing. There are thousands of people at our border coming in and just spilling in, and just until they can get in there, kind of living under the bridge. Farmers are finding them dead in the fields from this reason or that reason, mostly exposure because they don't know what to do once they get here, some of them. And, people are pretty desperate coming from just pouring in. And the people in Texas are not happy about this. This is what I hear. Oh, and then they're telling the horse soldiers they can't ride their horses. That's not being inclusive. Well, I'd say it's not being inclusive of horses. I mean, geez, how will the horses feel about that? I think you've hurt their feelings. But no, the terrain is just too rugged for regular vehicles, and horses are all that can patrol that part of the border, so they say. So if you say no horses, then no patrol. So there you go. Lovely to live in Texas, not quite. Texas is getting hammered, so you know what? My love and support to Texas. Texas, we love you. My prayers and my thoughts are with you too, and those of you who are still overseas. I'm sending angels. I'm asking that angels protect you. Somehow you get out of this okay. That somehow this becomes a good thing and not an evil thing. Because I know that it's not meant for any good. Not the way things have been done. But may it be turned to good. It can happen. Meanwhile, we here, our job is to dissent. And not capitulate. That's about all we can do. Just not give in to all this crap. Because we have to keep advancing ourselves. We have to keep rising with the earth. The earth's frequency is rising. The human frequency has changed notably. And it's gone way up. And the human frequency, really what causes it is lightning strikes. Now, I have a lot to say about that. I'll have to say it in another show. But we have to keep up. And Earth is going through her ascension. We're going through ours with her. As long as we can stick with the ascending Earth, we will be pretty much sucked right along with her. She'll take us with. We have to just stay the course in that regard. I think I have an idea why we keep getting these dates and they keep getting moved and everything. Something I read a very long time ago that I'll go into probably later is, and something I heard from somebody's site echoed, but what was in my mind is that every time, see, the negative ones, they cannot take a chance. Every time there is a chance that they could lose us, they have to take measures and do crazy stuff because they've not got much left in their bag, except the fake War of the Worlds scenario, I guess, is, I believe, who did I hear talking about that? Is that that's supposed to happen after this? Is that that's the next trick in the up the sleeve? The only thing is, maybe that's why earlier when I was saying the ships are coming, has something to do with that. Because if the real guys show up, I don't think they're really going to like being impersonated. Weird how they use impersonators, how there's like, doubles impersonators. It's almost like there's two worlds. The bifurcation point. We're getting to the pop apart point, and it's getting weird, okay? And I told you this was going to happen, and I told you people were going to see ships all over the place in the sky, and they are. Tons and tons of reports are coming in, and they're just not bothering to cloak. They're not doing anything yet, but they're waiting. They're just waiting. They're just there, letting us see them. And it's making a difference. Because the more people that notice and see them and say, wait a minute. They're there with their cameras in their hands and their phones and their friends and their, hey, you see that? Look at that. I got it on my phone. Look at this. Holy crap. That looks to be a UFO. And then there's the waving tree phenomena. I love that one. People are reporting moving trees. As a matter of fact, our own Todd, the Strangeland Sears, was talking about trees moving for no known reason. Well, there's another family that has a tree that has been waving at them since June. And it's interesting because the ships were supposed to be arriving in June. Remember that it was really going to start cranking in June? Okay, so, and then the tree starts waving, and it's just one branch, just this one little twig. And it won't stop. They hold it, they grab it, and it keeps going. After they let go, it's, and nobody's figured out exactly what was going on with it. The rest of the tree is, all the rest of the branches, they're not moving. The wind isn't blowing. Nobody can figure out what the heck is going on. I wonder if it's something like the quaking aspen. There is a thing called a quaking aspen that often, well, they always look like they're in a like they're undergoing tremors. Okay, it's the way they are. But just have some bushes or a tree or something that just has one branch. Things are getting strange. Todd was talking about this, if some of you remember. I wish Todd would see this and get his butt back in here and talk some more about it. But so I think I'm going to ask for that. but I don't want somebody to cut it down. I want it to be where nobody's going to cut it down. Cut it. It'd be nice if we had one around here. That's all I'm saying. I'd like to see that. That would be kind of fun. Maybe we'll have one around here. I don't know. Look at this little devilish look on my face. Me. Maybe you see something like that. And I wonder in the winter if the branch is going to quit waving. Who knows? Anyway, there's a lot to talk about later on. And like I said, I mostly just came in because in the middle of the night, knowing that probably nobody's going to be in, you know, that most people have just packed it off to bed by now, and even the Aussies probably, who knows if anybody even got a notification. Probably not. That's the way it is anymore. But maybe they'll see this and then expect to see me tomorrow night. Or tonight. I guess this is Sunday now. Tonight, later. At some point later, I'll do this again. Okay, so I've been on nearly 45 minutes. Just jabbering away. And I got it out of my head. And I can probably sleep now. So thank you very much for your attention, and I appreciate your input on whatever I've said here. And this is Ocean Making Waves. Now go make some of your own. Don't forget to be kind to each other because we really need it right now. And never forget that you are divine. Remember who you are. That's how we get our superpowers back, is to remember that we have them, and that they're not really superpowers, that they are our abilities that we should have. It's our right to have them, because we are divine. Okay, I love you guys. Hopefully I'll see you later. Okay. And you can come with your questions. Come with questions. Well, that's the old pendulum. This old pendulum seems to want to talk. Okay. I think maybe I'll make a few pendulums again. By the way, I got some nice pendulum stands, which I will be bringing out. I got pendulum stands enough for, I think I got like 6 of them or something. Just nice, the heavy wire pendulum stands that you can hang anything from. You don't have to hang a pendulum, but you can hang plants or whatever, or artwork or whatever. But, you know, I got them for us to hang pendulums, hang our pendulums up. So, okay, like I said. Anyway, love you. Oh, yeah, time for me to go back to bed now. Okay, have a great day until I see you again.